In 1998, a scientist sat down at his desk and felt like he was going to die. Cold sweat, pure dread, the absolute certainty that something was in the room with him. He turned around. Nothing was there. He was an engineer, so instead of leaving, he started measuring. What he found explained every haunted building that has ever existed. His name was Vic Tandy. He worked as an engineer at Coventry University in England. The lab he worked in had a reputation. Staff who stayed late reported the same things: a creeping unease, the feeling of being watched, anxiety so sudden and so physical that people left mid-shift and didn't come back. Everyone assumed the building was haunted. Tandy assumed nothing. He measured. The next day, he brought a fencing foil into the lab. He competed in fencing and needed to work on his equipment. He clamped it in a vise, and the blade began vibrating on its own, violently, with no obvious cause. An engineer does not accept vibrations with no cause. He started mapping the lab, moving equipment, taking readings, and he found it. A standing wave of sound at 19 hertz, below the threshold of human hearing, was bouncing between the walls of the laboratory. The extractor fan at one end of the room was producing it. The dimensions of the room were turning it into a resonant frequency. And 19 hertz, it turns out, is the exact frequency at which the human eyeball vibrates. Read that again slowly. The sound was making his eyes vibrate in their sockets. That vibration was producing peripheral visual disturbances, shapes, and movement at the edges of vision that weren't there. His nervous system was interpreting the frequency as a threat. His body was flooding with the physical symptoms of fear in response to a sound he could not consciously hear. He was not imagining things. His body was responding to something completely real, something invisible, something his conscious mind had no access to. Tandy published his findings. Then he went to the haunted building in Coventry, the one with the reputation, and measured it too. 19 hertz, same frequency, different source. Every reported sighting, every feeling of dread, every staff member who left mid-shift, all of it produced by a sound wave bouncing between specific walls at a specific frequency. The ghost was an extractor fan. The presence in the room was physics. This is called infrasound, sound below 20 hertz, below the range of human hearing. You cannot hear it. You will never know when it is present, but your body has a very specific response to it, and that response has nothing to do with your conscious mind. Infrasound is everywhere. Earthquakes produce it before the shaking starts. Elephants use it to communicate across distances of up to 10 kilometers. Tiger roars contain infrasound frequencies that cause the prey animals in their path to freeze before they can even process what is happening. The ocean produces it constantly. Severe weather produces it. Industrial machinery produces it. Your body evolved to respond to these signals long before your brain evolved to understand them. The dread response to infrasound is not a malfunction. It is an ancient alarm system responding to something your ancestors correctly associated with danger: geological events, large predators, severe storms. The alarm still works. The context has changed. Now here is where it gets darker. In the 1970s and 1980s, researchers began asking the obvious question: if infrasound reliably produces dread and disorientation in humans, what happens if you weaponize it? The answer is classified in most countries. What has been confirmed publicly is this: several military programs investigated infrasound as a non-lethal crowd control weapon. The goal was simple: a device that could clear a space of people without leaving any physical evidence of what had been used. People would simply feel an overwhelming need to leave. Panic, dread, the physical sensation of danger with no visible source. Whether those weapons were ever deployed is not confirmed. What is confirmed is that the research exists, the effect is real and measurable, and infrasound devices are not difficult to build. Vic Tandy spent the rest of his career studying infrasound in supposedly haunted locations. He found it in almost every single one: medieval cathedrals, old theaters, historic houses, buildings that had carried reputations for centuries. The same frequency, the same response, the same explanation that nobody had ever thought to look for. He died in 2005. His work never became widely known, but the question he left behind is still sitting there. How many things are affecting you right now that you cannot hear, cannot see, and have no conscious access to at all? How many times have you felt uneasy in a room and trusted that feeling without ever asking what was actually producing it? Your body is not always wrong when it sounds the alarm, but it cannot always tell you what the alarm is for. And sometimes the most frightening thing in the room is not what you imagine. It is the thing you never thought to measure.